Alright, first thing I'm going to do is make a new folder on my desktop. Right click, new folder. Then I'm going to open Angel. And I'm going to save. Let's save. Alright, now that's done. I'm going to move that into there. Now get rid of that. And I've got all my files, but they're all flunked up. Why, I have no idea. Now, these are the files for all the projects in the book. We're just going to be dealing with a welcome. So let me clean this up. If you're doing this at home, obviously you want to keep these files, but we're going to be working on this welcome. So I'm just going to move the welcome over here and then close that. So all the files we're going to be working with are here in this welcome folder. And now, obviously at school, stuff gets wiped every night, so you can just either leave this here or you can delete it, whatever you want to do. So step one is done. You're all set with the files. Let's get into Xcode. All right, we're going to create a new Xcode project. And then we're doing just a single view application. Now remember, you're supposed to be reading the book, so make sure you read the chapter to understand what these other options do. Alright, once that's done, now project name, I'm just going to do and you can fill out this stuff any way you want to. Obviously you need some kind of organizational identifier. It can be anything, your name, incorporated, or whatever you want to do. And we want Swift, and device is universal. So here's where you pick, if you're designing for just one specific device, you can do that here, but we're going to do universal. So our stuff will go to like an iPhone or an iPad or any other device that they have. All right, when you're done with that, hit next. All right, now it's going to ask you, where do you want to deposit this stuff? All right, for this project, I'm going to create a new folder. I'll come over here, new folder, and I'm going to call it Welcome Project Test, and boom. So now it's over there. I don't want it there, I want it there. Alright, now how do I move that? Give me a sec. Alright, first I'm gonna get rid of that. I'm just gonna click over there and try it. And alright, there I go. Ray, I got it there. Alright. I hit create. And I'm all set. Now I'm into the nuts and bolts. Alright, so again, make sure you're reading your book. So over here we have the navigator area where we can navigate the different levels and the different layers. Over here we have the editor where we can actually make changes to things. Then over here we have all the utilities. Like I can grab a push button and stick it over here inside the window, and then I can click on labeling and I can actually label the button. So here are the utilities for the different controls. Then here's the workspace. Alright, one thing I want to point out, when we hit universal, all the device orientations were selected except for upside down. Apple does not recommend you do upside down. They don't like people using their iPhones upside down, because if they're using the app upside down, then they get a phone call. Obviously they put the speaker to their mouth and they put the microphone to their ear, and obviously things have issues. So don't do that. Alright, first thing we need to do is obviously we need to create an icon for our application. So you're going to scroll down here to App Icons and Launch Images, and you're going to click the settings, which is this little button over here. And let me see if I can make this a little bit different size, that way we can see good. All right, now because we're making our application for all the different devices, we need to have icons that support all these different resolutions. What if they have the Retina display? What if they don't have Retina display? That kind of stuff. So that's why there's all kinds of windows here for the icons to launch our application. So what these mean is, if it's a 1x, it typically does not support the Retina display. And if it's 2x or 3x, it supports Retina. Now here at 29 points, what you need to do is you need to take 2 times 29 points and put that image up there in there. So let me go to my folder and welcome and images and the bugs. Oop, that apparently was not it. There we go. So here's 29 times 2, there's 40 times 4, 50, you get the idea. So now we just need to drag these in. So I'm going to move that there. Find my Xcode. Open that. Wrong one. Don't let me do that stuff. Where's my images at? Alright, that was kind of a pain. So here at 29, I need a 29 2x and a 29 3x. So here's a 29 2x. And where's my 29 3x? Huh. Alright, don't be a noob like me. So that's not 29 times 2x. That means it's a 29 by 29 image. So that would be go in the 29 times 1. So what I want is the 58, because 29 times 2 is 58. So I grab the 58, pop that there. And now obviously the icon looks much better. Alright, so here I have 29 times 3, so 3 times 29 is actually 67. I think what they did when they loaded the assets, I think this one is listed backwards. It says 76, but it's actually 68, or yeah, 67. Alright, and then I have 40 times 2, which would be 80. Grab the 80. Then I have a 40 times 3, which would be 120. Alright, so now you get the idea. So go ahead and put the rest of your icons on there, and I'll do the same, and then we'll restart the video. Alright, so if you're all done, it should look like that. Now, there was also, where did I see that? Over here, oh, a 76 point. So I don't know what the deal is. Maybe he just skipped one, or maybe the 76 also works for the, you know, the 29 times 3 or whatever. I don't know. But you just use the 76 where I told you at, and then use the 76 point here, and you're all set. But just keep in mind, when you're building applications for multiple devices, you're going to need icons for each different resolution and that kind of stuff. So it's a pain in the butt, but just, again, keep that in mind. Alright, next we're going to add an image for our application. So remember, if you're building the application for different devices, not only do you need to have different icons, but all your art assets need to have different sizes and images for the different devices. So an easy way to do this, we're just going to open up Finder. And then I'm going to go to my desktop, find my welcome folder, welcome, images, and bugs. And then you can actually just drag this there. Ta-da! Now, and you see, now there's a 1x, a 2x, a 3x, that kind of stuff, but we're just going to deal with the 1x for now. Alright, so this space here is called the asset catalog. So any assets you're going to have in your game, obviously art assets, things like that, would all need to be located here. Alright, next we're actually going to go into like the interface to actually start creating the app. So if you go over here to the left and hit main storyboard, eventually it'll convert over, and then you'll see the view scene controller, and then you've got your actual, like the place where you build the stuff, and then you like your icons over here actually went yellow. We can start placing stuff. Alright, so other than a workspace, over here I have the library tabs, or the library window is what they're calling it. And I got 4 main options, and this first one is this is the file template. So if I'm going to load a file or do files, I do with that. If I'm going to do code, I click that. If I'm going to place objects, or like, you know, label buttons or things like that, that's going to be there. And then this is just different media, my media library, things that I stored. So if I can go down through here, you can see all the different options I have. I can make a label, I can make buttons, that kind of stuff. Alright, so the first thing we're going to add is an image view. So let's go scroll down. We're looking for image view down here in the library. And there it is. we're going to drag that into our workspace. I can move this over a hair. Oh, such a pain in the butt. Ah. Why did that not move? Anyway. Alright. Alright, once that's in there, we want to go hit this little tab up here. And that's our attributes. And I can pick image. And I can load any image from our asset catalog. And I'm going to pick bug. And there's our bug. Hooray! Alright, next we want to go over here to the view. And we want to do aspect fit. Because we want it to fit in our window. Then we're going to go up here to the little ruler thing and click that. And we're going to change the height to 300. And that way it only takes up half of the window. Now we don't want it to be skewed, so we're going to change that to 300 as well. Now you can move this window. Well, I'll grab the image. You can grab, is it up there? There, now I can go. And now I can make this fit so I can see the entire thing. If you want to see the entire image, you want to get rid of this pane over here, if I can click this down there, and now I can kind of see the whole thing. Now we want to take our image and we want to move it, and it's nice, like you'll see this little, obviously the lines pop up to help you, put it in the right spot. So we're going to do ours in the bottom half of the screen. And there we go. Now for some reason that doesn't look right to me, even though we have 300 by 300. I'm going to grab these little suckers here and expand my image. So those hands almost go across the screen. I'm going to line them up. And remember, you can, there we go. So there's the bottom of the screen. So I think that's good. Yeah, that works for me. All right. All right, next we're going to add some text to the top of the screen. So down here, we want to look for a label. And I think that was back this way. There we go. Grab that, drag it to the top, and boom. All right, so then we need to go to our attributes, which is that. And now we have the attributes for our label. So as long as the label is selected and you click on attributes, you'll get the attributes for the label. If obviously the image is selected, you'll get the attributes for the image. All right, so first we want to change the text to say, welcome to iOS app development. So I think that's here. And we'll do, welcome to iOS app development, exclamation point, bam. All right, then we're going to go to the alignment we want to be centered. Then we're going to go to lines, and we want 2, because we want it to appear on 2 lines. Then we want to go to the font, and where's that sucker at? Oh, duh. And we want to change the font to 55. Now, or you can just go in here, and nope, guess I can't do that. Yeah, 56. Got excited. Sorry. All right. And then there's auto shrink. We want to set that to minimum font scale. Auto shrink. We want to go to minimum font scale. Now, when you read the book, it looks like that would just automatically fix everything and it should show up right. But we're going to need to change the size. And what's nice is you get these little lines that tell you like where it's at. So I can probably go a little bit bigger. I got my image, dang it. All right, get that. Start on that side. Yeah, now I'm hitting both and it's in the middle. All right, good. Hooray! All right, images and text are really easy to manipulate on the screen, but wait till you get into like the iOS 2 class when we do a game. Things are a little bit tougher. Now, if we stopped here and just said, okay, we want to deploy this, we'd have some images. If we went to different devices, things wouldn't scale and wouldn't rotate, and sometimes it'd be way on the left of the screen, things like that. So now we're going to work on, working on spacing and things for different devices. So you're going to go up here to the bottom left, click that, because we need to see our different controllers and that stuff. All right, here's where it gets weird. We want to make sure this Welcome to iOS Development is always spaced from the top of the screen. So we're going to hold the Control key, and you're going to grab this window here, and you're going to drag it to Top Layout Guide, and then let go. And then you'll see horizontal and vertical spacing. Oops, dropped it there. All right, so what we're doing is we're doing auto fit, or what they call auto layout, and this thing it does it all automatically. So again, I'm going to hit Control, drag this, I'm going to click on vertical spacing. Bam. And now it'll space itself the same way depending on the screen size. It'll always kind of have the same space between that stuff. Or more specifically, it'll always have the same space between the top of the screen and the top of the characters. Now we also want to have the same spacing between the characters and the bottom. So we're going to do a Control drag, so hold Control, drag it to bottom, and then hit vertical. And that'll always have the same space between the top and the bottom, the same ratio of space, if that helps. And you can see now how these little controls kind of popped in to kind of keep that stuff measured and always be the same ratio, from the top to the bottom. Dope! And I'm supposed to do that to the image view. Now, the bottom part was not supposed to come. So the text is supposed to be on the top, and then the image, the picture, is supposed to align with the bottom. So I'm going to Control, drag to bottom, and hit vertical, and then that'll space as well. All right, so now I should be okay. If I'm not, I blame Justin. Now this next part is kind of weird, so let me read this from the book. So in left to right languages, the leading edge is at the left and the trailing edge is at the right. So in right to left languages, this is reversed. This is an iOS internationalization feature that enables iOS to adapt your UIs based on the user's spoken language. So what we're going to do next is we're going to control drag from the label to the word view on the left. And then we're going to select trailing space to container margin. So let's see if I can figure this out. So here, lost the whole freaking thing. All right, let me line that up again. Duh. So I'm sorry, again, I hold Control, otherwise the whole thing drags. And if I need to move that back up here. All right, good. So I'm holding Control, drag to view. And then I want, what was that name again? Oh, leading. I'm sorry, no. Yeah, leading space to container margin. Leading space to container margin. All right, then we want to do the same thing for the image. So I'm going to click on the image, hold Control, drag to view, let go, and then leading space to container margin. So again, what this does according to your book is, all right, where's that word at? I want to make sure I get this right. This creates an auto layout constraint that requires the label's left and right edges to be 0 points from the view's left and right edges respectively. So basically we're going to make sure that we cover the entire screen. All right, next we want to make sure that the label and view, or the label and the image, each occupy half the screen's height and to scale based on the screen size and orientation. All right, to do that, we want to click on the label, hold Control, and drag it to the image and hit equal heights, I believe. Let me check the book real quick. Yeah, equal heights. Then I want to do the whole thing again and select, I'm going to make sure that I'm in the right spot. There we go. Hold Control here, and I want to go to vertical spacing. All right, now we're going to test our app. So you can kind of come up here and you can pick a device. And if I move that up here, like here's all the different devices that my version of Xcode supports. So we're going to leave it on iPhone 6. And then you can hit play. And it'll load. You see the little loading thing. And the build succeeded, so that's good. And that's what my app looks like. I got to put in my password. Yeah. I get that right? Oh, really? Alright. Alright, so here's my application, and I think it was this one. So again, this would be my iPhone here, and the little buttons, and I click on my app, and that's what I would see. So obviously, I've got some issues with my constraints that I probably need to fix. But at least this gives you a basic idea of what's going to happen when we deal with apps. So I can turn this off and figure out how to do that. So I'll just minimize it for now. Now, if you want to view the changes, the constraints that you put in, you can go down here and see the new constraints. Why is it not working? Come on, baby. There we go. And I can make this bigger and see, hey, what's going on here? Where are these different constraints? And then each one will highlight. So there's that one, that one. So everything's vertical. So we didn't have any other spacing in there. So I probably need to fix that next. All right, I'm gonna see if I can go in here and shrink my image a little bit. And then I'm going to run that again and deal with this. And still having issues. Now last time that worked, but now it's not. So, since mine's having some issues, I'll leave it up to you guys to see if you can get that fixed in class. But that probably should have did it there, I'm guessing. So I guess that's it. So that's it for this app. So again, obviously the next apps get a lot more intense, and we start coding and doing some different things. So this was kind of just to give you an overview of the playground that we're going to deal with and where the different controls are and things. So please make sure you read this chapter and take notes on where things are, what the different buttons do, and you bring that stuff to class. And that way as you're going through, when I say, you know, click on the attributes selector, you'll know that I need to go here. And if you're going to click on size, you're going to go there. So you get the idea. All right, well, that's it for me. If you have any questions, bring them up in class.